what a lot of people has described as Nigeria's days of rage. We are looking into the first day of protests across Nigeria, and they have one unified voice to say, end bad governance in Nigeria. Say no to the high cost of living here in the country. Let's head over to Twitter and take a look at what some of you have to say about the first day of protests. Let's begin taking a look at some of those tweets. The social media space has been buzzing with several reactions, actually, on the protest so far. This tweet says, from Borno to Lagos, Gombe to Ibadan, the cry of hunger echoes and the frustration from bad governance is evidence. The APC has failed the people and have dashed their hopes. Moving on, let's take a look at another reaction to the protest, the first day of protesting. This is how some people actually protest, with their hands on Twitter. Let it be known that the Nigerian police force is only a force on peaceful protesters. When they see robbers, bandits, and terrorists, they become cowards. And this tweet goes on to basically berate the Nigerian police. But it's interesting that this tweet is saying this. And this is from Sarah Ibrahim. I'm going to bring in my guest, he is an entertainer, but he's also an advocate, because Oba K-Solo speaks up when it is necessary. And I'm so happy to have you, because I feel like every time conversations like this come up, you never hide your voice.
There's no way I can add my voice.
You never hide your voice when it comes to things like this.
I'm a product of the streets, you know, and when things are actually trained in the street, a lot of people have attacked me. You're supporting APC and all that, supporting has nothing to do with when the masses is involved. You are hungry, I'm hungry, so we can't put our hands and act like it's not happening.
Yeah.
It's actually happening, but for me, I think where I feel my government is doing badly is the fact that as much as you want to change a lot of policy and make things work fine, you're forgetting that people are hungry. Yeah. And first, those parts that will cushion that part is what you should look into first. So why would you still want to move? I won't lie to you, regardless of how people want to see this, which they would still bash me, which I'm fine, is the fact that the government is actually doing right in some part. Okay. But like I said, in this politics you are putting together, you're forgetting the people you're actually taking care of first, which they should be the first priority. If they are not hungry, a lot of people will not even bother. So they are hungry. So it's the hunger that is pushing this out. And I think there should be a fast measure that can fix this. You see, talking about increasing the salary to 70,000, and you feel like, okay, this is all they need. No. How many people is actually working to collect 70,000? That's the first question. You get, so does it get to the streets? Does it get that woman that is still hawking stuff? No. Where it gets to that woman that is hawking stuff is the fact that when a fuel price is being reduced, and for her to convey her goods from her house to the bus stop where she sells is more reduced, she will be happy at the end of the day that I'm making a little more money for myself. You get, so these are things that I feel should be put in. So, and these are the aggressions that people are actually putting on the ground.
But speaking of those aggressions now, Oba K-Solo, you were out in Ikeja, today. What was the environment like? Because in different states we are seeing different things. You saw in Bayelsa, they said we are supporting our presidents. So it's different. What was it like where you were?
Like I said, this is the same thing that was going on about people actually shedding their lights on what they feel should be done. And part of the first thing that I think has been a major one that has come across in the two places I went is the fuel. Once that part can come down, bam, like this, every other thing will just have an easy float. Okay. That's a major one. If that can be worked on or if the government won't do anything for everybody out of all these protests, let fuel be addressed. If that one is addressed, it will shut a lot of things down, because it's actually affecting every place. Then the second part is to that man. I don't know how Ogun State people actually were able to build that man with a fat chick that is in charge of power. That man is a problem.
How so?
Please. How can somebody be paying you? How can you be giving an area like Agege, putting them on band A, where even people that live there are retirees, people they're just trying to fix life just to wait for God to just call them, So where do they want to get money to pay for band A? Let me now shock you another thing that is happening. My own estate, I'm not going to mention their name, so let me just give them that part. So now, area whereby we put on lights, you have some of our neighbors that put on electricity every day, like outside for security purpose. Since Band A was introduced, now in the estate group, you hear one person's generator has been stolen, one person's pumping machine has been moved. You know why?
Why?
Because people don't put on lights anymore. People don't put on lights anymore. So if that man is thinking in the right sense, How many police do we have in Lagos?
So basically,
put all that together. How do people are trying to be the security for themselves? Now they can't even put on light. Now these old lumps enter into the estate in midnight, do what they have to do. Now we have securities we pay again. Are the securities, are they Holy Ghosts? They can't be they can only be in a place at a particular time. You get what I'm saying? So that's been happening. So this is also another ripple effect of the hike in electricity. So that's those two things. Once it's been
But now, K-Solo, we need to understand that this protest now, this is one issue because one man's problem is separate from another person's problem. We're complaining about the band aid. Some people are clamoring for it. They said, you know what, bring it to me. I said, we can afford it. You understand? So clearly there's a disjointment here. But in that your area now, Oba K-Solo, I'm sure there's a local government chairman in that your area. I'm sure there are even inside that local government, they are smaller. How do we communicate if we don't have the right channels that we're communicating through? Because when you take it all the way to the ministry, that's far. But in that your small area, I know you said it. You grew up in the streets. In your streets, you have sects. Yes. You have people that basically speak on behalf of the people. Now, those people that are meant to speak on behalf of the people, when they come into that your area and they say, okay, this is, because, I mean, I grew up in Anthony Village, basically. And I remember at the time when I grew up in Anthony Village, they used to have meetings where they used to discuss some of these things. They used to have, thank you. They used to have all these small meetings. And when in those meetings are some of these things are decided on. And then it gets back and then they implement. But when they implement, some people were not part of that meeting. So how do you balance this out? Because sometimes we always take it all the way to the federal level. But what about at the local government level?
This one I talked about now, that is the major problem.
That's the field.
That is a federal problem.
But I'm not talking about that now.
Now, what about the estates too now that actually give us light and it's not even on band A and we pay for fuel, diesel. Okay, now, the bills to us actually gone in triple-fold because they need to give us light. So everything is still burns down to the federal government. You see, state government, I like this new policy of them trying to actually do a merger from the federal straight to the local government, which is a good one, whereby they can now they've discovered that a lot of governors have been embezzling money, and money has not been getting to some local government, and these are the local government that come. These are people that I find on the street today protesting because a lot of things did not get to that place.
Okay,
you know, so now it is happening, and which is fine.
Now, K-Solo, 2020, 2020, that's it, right?
2020.
2020, you were out. 2024, 4 years after.
I'm still out.
You're still out. But there's a big difference between 2020 and today. Looking at the NSAS protests and the end bad governance protests we have today. The entertainment industry, which is, of course, where Arise 360 falls into, is very quiet this time around. We're not seeing as many of our influencers, of our musicians, of our filmmakers come out in their numbers. What changed?
You get why.
Which one do you get why?
You get why. You know, the truth is, a lot of things that happened to people who actually came out that year. You know, and business is not as usual with a lot of people afterwards. And in the real sense of it, you must be somebody that does not have anything to lose to decide to jump on this again. You know, it's so glaring that then we're actually doing spokespersons for a lot of people, but now the masses themselves know what they want, and they're on the streets themselves. You know, so for few of us that
spokesperson, I get what you mean by that.
You understand? So a lot of them are on the street for themselves to speak now, because at the time we were speaking, some people feel like some people actually paid you to speak.
I remember
You're
that.
working with somebody, you know. So when in this real sense of it, if it pains you, face the street. If you feel it, come out. So it's not a function of celebrity anymore. Forget celebrities to actually facing what you're facing. You understand? You know, some of us are paying bills that we're not supposed to pay because we came out the last time. You understand? So a lot of things is inbuilt. Macaroni is not on the street.
The silence is loud. The silence is loud.
So it means so much. You get? It means so much. See, somebody like me, if you ask me, I probably, if not because the pain was getting to this point for the masses, and because I actually rep the streets. Trust me, I love the silence. I love the silence.
But you love the silence, but what does the silence mean? Because you could look at it in different ways. On one hand, you could say the silence could be, we are tired, as in we don't get energy. We don't have it in us. The silence could also mean, well, Your problem, not mine. The silence could also mean we're still healing.
Paul said same thing a few days ago. Rude boy of peace. He said the same thing, like, count me out. I'm not interested.
Burna Boy said the same thing.
I'm
Don't
not
call my
interested
name.
again. Just do what you like. At this point, like I said, the government is trying their best and they're actually putting what, I think, regardless of how bad people see it, inflation is everywhere. They're actually doing some things that actually you don't expect, we've not seen in years. But like I said, when you build an infrastructure, who lives or who works in the infrastructure? Is it people who are alive or people who are dead?
Who are dead. Now, K-Solo, I feel like we've also gotten to a point where within our creative industry, part of that silence could be people are doing what they can to push back against this hardship. We've seen our music make so much money across board for the individual, but not necessarily for our economy. We've seen Fola David, for instance. He got an international sponsor to put him through his Guinness World Record. That was a very, very expensive attempt. It was not locally sponsored. It wasn't. We're looking at our creatives, but they're saying, okay, we understand the situation, but we're pushing back against it. What do you have to say to that?
Basically, it still stands to you trying to be personal for yourself. But for me, I feel if you actually carry the love of your fan base, you shouldn't get tired of speaking, regardless of how little or slow it sounds. But you shouldn't get tired of speaking. But the silence is actually loud. I wouldn't lie to you. It's loud, and
it is.
Me, I be government picking, but in the process of that, I will still speak for my people. I will still stand up for them and give my little for them. So for me, like I said, my own take is the government is far away from their people. You are fixing infrastructures. You are passing policies that will pay. You've increased this, increased that. Okay, you've opened the border whereby foods can come in for no taxes anymore. All that, yes, to cushion the effect. But you know that if today you just hear that fuel drops to 40 naira. No, I mean 400 naira.
Okay, because I'm like,
yeah, 400 naira. Just that alone.
Okay.
Look at the week that we saw the government enter into war with Bureau de Change. And the days we saw like 500 naira drop from dollars. See what happened in the economy.
Okay. We're actually it's interesting you'd actually mention that because it also goes to show how there is that everybody wants a situation that's going to be better. And I love the fact that you admit that you're a government picking. But I want to touch on that. We found a lot of people get dragged for saying what you're saying. The likes of Toyin Abraham and Yola Badmus. These are people who would equally say we are government children, but people will say you are the reason that this situation is happening. We've seen that on Twitter. Toyin Abraham even going as far as almost arresting a person because the person insulted her child.
Now, I said something to Toyin the day it happened. I called on the phone and I told her that for me, it's a public sphere. And you cannot limit people from the way they speak. And where I grew from, I didn't grow up from the internet stage. I grew up from when the internet was not even in Nigeria. And that's when I became a celebrity in Nigeria. So there's a way we manage stuff like that. You can talk from now to Jericho. It does not change. It does not add a penny to my account. So for me, doing the right thing is what matters.
That's you though. But
that's what I'm saying.
A lot of
that's what matters.
Are not as strong as you.
That's the reason why there are people who are called media managers. You are not supposed to be checking every comment and digits that come into your account. It's somebody's job to attend to that. You want a post to fly, they do that job. So you put your personal life out of social media, but when your life is attached to social media, then when those stone comes, it eats you. So for me, talk from now, from Jericho to Galilee, from Galilee to Bethlehem, I don't see it.
So let me get this before I let
I don't see it. And when I say government person, meaning that I'm this government person, I'm here. And I'm not defending them.
Wait first. I need you to pick a side here.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, and there's nothing wrong with that. I always say this, if you believe in something, stand for it, own it, which has been my biggest issue with the whole Toyin Abraham scandal. Because yes, you came out to air your views and your support. You did it, own it. There's no point apologizing or saying you were not sure or you thought or you. When you do that, then it makes you look shaky. Own it. So I'm trying to get the same thing here. You're basically saying, yes, I am a 100%.
Yes, I support Tinubu 100%. You understand?
But you also support the protests.
Yes.
Okay.
I support the protest. Because it's the right of everybody. Even the president himself will not stop people from protesting. That's the reason why he's been apologizing. He's been begging, looking for different ways and measures not to make it happen. Not because he doesn't want them to go out, because he knows that some set of people are still on the corner trying to cause mayhems, trying to destroy. The ones that happened during the SARS we've not recovered fully from it. You get what I'm saying? So the truth is this. It's not like anybody's afraid of protest. It's the right of everybody. And that's why I had to go too. Because my people are there.
Okay.
If you think you are making so much money and they're not feeling, but every day when you check your DMs, your inbox, or you check your text messages,
you're being dragged.
And you're like, not even being dragged. The number of bills you pay.
Well,
so what else do you have? What do you have? So you need to stand up for what you believe and what is right.
Basically,
so basically,
what you are saying now, K-Solo, because
yes.
we got to wrap this up, is this is a government that you voted in.
Yes.
You're proud of it, and you believe in the mandate.
Yes.
And you're saying that as much as people are protesting, they have every right to protest.
100.
But things will get better.